Yes. So,
All
what's
right.
this today's session is about?
Okay. So today's session is one of the first session of how we are going to do this sheet interview questions. Okay. I am sharing my screen. Let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Visible है sir.
Perfect. ठीक है. तो देखो, what we are going to do is this company specific interview section. We have so many questions. Like we have around 1,000 questions here. What we want to do is every day we are going to pick a company, all the questions related to that company. So every company and the question related to that company is a part of one interview. We are going to do our research on that interview, the kind of questions they asked and what was the overall difficulty level of that interview, and then we will discuss the interview questions. If question is easy, then we will try to see how better we can answer that question. If question is difficult, then we will try to find the answer of that question. So what my end goal is that every question we have in this question bank should be covered, and we should at least know that what is a better way to answer something. Now this is not going to be done only by me. I want you all to participate here. So let's say if I pick a question, types of communication in LWC, in these kind of sessions, and I call them Q&A sessions, in these kind of sessions I kind of sometimes will try to ask questions directly from you. So I can say, okay Deep, if I ask you what are the different types of communication in the LWC, then Deep has to come out, tell me what he will answer in this question. Okay, there is nothing we are pointing out to a person or something. It's just that we want to improve on our speaking skill as well as how better we can answer something. Okay, so collectively we will discuss a question, different ways to answer a question, and then I may allocate somebody to add answers here on the right hand section. Okay, so I will definitely be needing a lot of participation in these kind of sessions because you guys will be adding answers, we will be preparing answers together, and if there is any tip, trick, or any inner things which I need to tell, obviously we will do that. So that is the agenda for the sessions like these, and this will take some time because we have so many questions. We have easy questions, we have difficult question, and we will collectively do this. So I want a lot of participation here. If I am calling out your name to answer something, you have to come out of your shell and at least answer that question. I will not request, I mean, I will not force you obviously to come on screen, but if you can do that, that will be better, because in that case I will be able to see you and I will be able to communicate better. And that is how I am going to do this. I don't want you all to go through recordings because there will be a lot of talking going on here and it will be very difficult for you to go through recordings of this. Instead, it will be better if you join and then we do this collectively. So whatever question or whatever company name I'm going to pick, I will tell you beforehand so that you can also go through the questions, and if you want to add anything there, we can do that. Okay, so today I'm going to do the first one and we will go from top to bottom, and that's how we are going to do this. Okay. And if you have any question in between, just put it on chat. We will take it at the end, or we will discuss a lot, so we can do it anytime. Okay. So this is the agenda. This is how we are going to do these Q&A sessions. We will do a lot of Q&A sessions now because most of the theoretical part or learning part have been completed. We will still keep on doing the theoretical part, and there are some things we have to do on the LWC on the practical side as well. But these Q&A sessions will now happen more often than the theoretical sessions. Okay, and now we have a common group, so batch 1, batch 2, anybody who joins new can definitely go through that. Okay, so this will be the agenda. Anybody has any doubt in this, any suggestions in this? Manjunath, how are you? Is it good? See, many people from batch 1 will not join, which
Yeah,
is
nice.
okay. I don't yeah, hi Manjunath. I definitely want people who do not, who are very actively preparing for job, you should definitely join, because it will sharp your skills about how do you communicate. So let's say if I at random throw a question on you, how will you respond to that? All those people who already have job but want to still keep on brushing, you're more than welcome to do that. But it will help people who are very actively looking, or keep on preparing yourself even if they're not getting calls. Because the problem happens with most of the people is that when we get call, we are not prepared. When we are prepared, we do not get call. It's a cycle. We don't want it, but it happens with most of us. So I want everybody to be prepared for interview every time. Okay, so that is the purpose. I'm still doing it for batch one, as well as obviously for batch two. It is a kind of mandatory thing. Okay, guys. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Just remember, if the question is easy, okay, then don't take that question lightly. Most of the time we make this mistake that question is very easy, we take it very lightly. But if the question is easy, then it is it is your responsibility to even answer it perfectly, because everybody knows the answer of that question. So for easy questions, the expectation is not that you should be able to answer that question. The expectation is that you should be able to answer it in the best possible manner. So never take easy questions for granted. They are actually difficult questions, in my opinion, because for difficult question, interviewer will already have low expectation. Okay, so for difficult question, I mean, we will try to find the answer of it if it is not available. But for easy questions, we definitely have to kind of brainstorm about how best we can answer that. Okay. Okay. I have added couple of notes here, some answers and notes as well, so you guys can go through wherever. I think you will all will have access to. But let's go through the questions one by one. Okay. And we have total 22 questions, few of them are theoretical. So let's try to understand the pattern of this interview first. Okay, I'm not really sure that if the questions are in order, but from the look of it, it looks like they can be in an order. They can be in the same order as well. Okay, so interviewers started with the admin topics, asked couple of questions on admin. Okay, like 2 questions on admin. Most of the time when interviews start with admin, in admin we have very limited topics. So 80% chances are there that they will ask record sharing and security, because that is the most tricky part of admin. If your interviewer is an experienced interviewer, no matter how many years of experience you have in Salesforce, he can almost always trick you in the record sharing and security. It is such an important topic, and we have done so much on record sharing and security that I feel that none of my students will fail in the record sharing and security if they have gone through our sessions, if they have gone through the question and answers we did at that time of record and sharing. I don't think anybody will get stuck, but it is a very important topic. So interviewers started with the admin topic, okay, then went to one of the apex problem, which is okay. I also sometimes go with the admin topics and then go with the fundamentals of apex. That's kind of setting up the template before going through the triggers and all. What are the latest release? Knowing about Salesforce fundamental, acceptable. Then again, this is a fundamentals of apex with sharing and without sharing. And then he went on to ask a trigger question. Okay, and see, there is a fundamental difference between service-based organization interview and product-based organization interview. Service-based organization, most of the time when they take Salesforce interview, they have to ask so many different topics, maybe from different clouds, maybe from different things within Salesforce, because there are variety of projects going on, and they most of the time are not specifically hiring for Service Cloud or Sales Cloud, or community cloud or field service lighting. That could be a thing, but they will ask a lot of other things as well. So they will have to ask LWC as well. They will have to ask admin, Apex fundamental, trigger, flows, community, integration, so many things they'll have to ask. So for each topic, they will at max have one or two questions. Okay, except few important topic like LWC, they can have more than one or two questions. For integration, they can have more than one or two questions. For batch Apex, they can have more than one or two questions. But in a nutshell, they'll have to pick questions from variety of topics, variety of you can say areas of Salesforce. Okay, so for few topics, they will just pick one question. So for here in admin, he picked just two questions. Fundamentals of Apex, he just picked one question. Something related to Salesforce, he just picked one question about release update. For test classes, he just picked one question. What are the test classes? How to test the private classes? Okay. How to test the external callouts? Okay. Then he went on to the latest features. Dynamic form is kind of latest. So he picked one thing. Okay. Then he went on to asynchronous Apex. And then within asynchronous, he asked about mixed DML. Can we call future from future? Okay. So you can see, from the look of the question, you can determine, okay, that was the approach of interviewer to check as many things as he can, yet ask meaningful questions. Okay. And then he went on to set the template for Lightning Web Components. So first he asked about why LWC is special than Aura, basically the difference between LWC and Aura. And then most of the interviewer go and ask Lightning have hooks and examples of that. Then went on to ask communication, syntax for parent to child and child to parent, why we can't make imperative call. So all these are Lightning Web Components. So it was more of a Lightning Web Component interview, and that is the template of a Salesforce developer interview from last couple of years, that they will go very extensive on Lightning Web Component and will ask a lot of questions, because they want to make sure that they hire somebody who is confident and comfortable in Lightning Web Component. Okay, so there are so many questions from Lightning Web Component, and then by the end of 20th question, he was done with the Lightning Web Component. He also had to check the integration, so included one question from integration. Okay, but just a theoretical question, he might not have enough time to go through very detailed, or you can say the difficult question. So just went on to ask the one question which will include almost everything you know about the integration. And then I guess this, I don't think is an order, because it is very odd that somebody will end an interview with this. Either they'll start it or they'll end it, but then all the questions of record trading and security will come in an order. They should not be scattered around this. So maybe this will also come in the top. So that was how the interview went. Okay, started with admin, went on to fundamentals of Apex, went on to fundamentals of Salesforce, then fundamentals of Apex, fundamentals of then asked to write triggers, and then went on to ask a couple of latest things available, then test classes, then batch Apex and asynchronous Apex, and then a lot of LWC. This is a typical service based organizations interview happens in, like if you give interview for Wipro, Capgemini, Cognizant, they ask these questions in an order, because when I was in IBM, I used to get a list of topics I have to check this particular candidate on. Obviously, there was not questions they will be giving you, but then you will get a question, you will get a topic template that, okay, we'll have to hire the LWC developer. So LWC should definitely be checked along with these 7-8 things. So that's how you see the sequence here in the interview as well. Anybody wants to share their experience with any of the service-based organization interview and how the pattern was, and your experience with it? Come on. Hi, Karishma. Did you start giving interview? Did you give any interview recently? Drive
hi,
safe, Manjunath. Yeah, drive safe. You need not to speak. Okay. Hi, Karishma. And also not chat.
Recently Like in past 2-3 weeks I haven't given any interview, but I'm preparing my week topics and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Hi Vikas, I saw you've been giving interviews a lot. How's your experience going on with the interviews? I think you okay.
Yeah, Mohit. Hi, Mohit.
Yep. So any
Yeah,
any recent interview you given?
no, Mohit, like I have not started giving any interviews yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
but I'm going to start from the next month.
cool. Sure, by next month you will be prepared well. So let us go through the questions first and then we will chit chat about it. Okay. Now that we have understood the pattern of this interview, and trust me, for most of the service-based organizations, pattern will be pretty much similar. Few interviewers will directly start from LWC. They will be on very on point and they will start with the topic which they need from you. Few interviewer will set the template first, will go easy on you, will start the basics, and then will go to the main topic. Most of the time, what happens is that in an interview, you will give your introduction. Okay, when you give your introduction, from your introduction itself, it will be very clear that what are the major things you have worked on. Okay, so few interviewers, those who do not do any specific preparation to take interview, most of the normal interviewer will take the words from your introduction, what are the major things you have worked on, and will start asking questions from that self. Okay, but in few interviews, you will see that interviewer is following a specific pattern. He might have got this pattern from leadership, or he might have prepared how to take the interview, or he might have a specific style of taking interview. But 6 out of 10 times, whatever you say in your introduction will be the topics they will be asking in the beginning. Okay, so make sure that you have a clear understanding of what are the things you are good at, what are the things you are weak at. So I want every one of you to do this exercise. On a paper, you just write down the topics which I am good at or the areas which I am good at, versus on the left, you write the topics I am weak at. Okay, then write down, okay, I am good in triggers, or I'm okay in triggers, I'm comfortable in triggers, I'm okay in admin. Everybody knows that what are the good things and what are the bad things. Like, I know my good things, I know my bad things. What we have to understand is that we have to drive that interview with the good things I have, and we will have to improve on the things where we are not so good. Okay, but in order to do that, we should know this first. Okay, so if I know that, okay, I'm a bit weak in integration, then only I will try to improve it. Okay, so the exercise I want you to do is that on a pen and paper you will write down the topics you are good at versus the topics you are bad at. Then all the topics which you are bad at, you go through them. Okay, let's say I have written LWC, integration, community cloud, maybe maybe admin. These are the bad topics. I am good at fundamentals of Apex. I am good at, let's say, triggers. I am good at maybe asynchronous Apex. Okay. Then whatever topics we have written, we are not so good at, we need to see, are these topics are a must to know topic. So let's say if I have written LWC as a topic which I am not good at, that means LWC is a topic which, I mean, I will not be able to drive the interview with the help of LWC because I'm not good at. But then LWC at the same time is a must to know topic. It is not a topic for which an interviewer will take a no. What I mean is that if an interviewer asks, have you worked on integration? And if you say, no, I did not get any opportunity to work on integration, he will still be able to take it as a no, because let's say you do not have much experience, you have only 1 year of experience or 1.5 years of experience. So on your experience level, integration is a topic for which an interviewer can still take a no. But if you say you have not written any trigger yet, interviewer will not take a no for a topic like trigger. Okay, so on your experience level, you should know that what are the topics you are weak at, and then you have to do a further exercise on whether these topics are must to know topic at my experience level. Okay, so let's say if I have a 3 years of experience and LWC is my weak topic, then I further cannot give interview yet, because LWC is a must to know topic at my experience level, and interviewer will not take a no for this topic. So I have to stop here. I have to figure out a strategy to learn LWC first, because without that, I will not be able to move forward with the interview. Because if you will ignore this step, then what will happen is that you will start giving interview, you will get rejected, that will break your confidence, that will obviously give you a lot of negativity, and whatever topics you were good at, they will also become bad, because you will lose all the confidence. Once you lose the confidence, your mind shuts. It goes in the defense mechanism to protect you. Okay, so we have to, and everybody who is giving interview have to prepare this exercise, has to do this exercise. Now, how will you get to know that which topics are must to know versus what topic are not must to know? Okay, so what you will do, you will write it down, you will send me the list, I will tell you what are the topics which are must to know, and based on what topics you are not good at, which are the topics you can improve on, which are the topics you can still keep it as it is, or what will be the strategy for you to improve on that. But you will have to tell me what are you weak at, then only I will be able to tell you the strategy to make improvements on that. Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I need more nods, guys.
Yeah,
Okay, everybody has to do this
Yes, sir.
exercise because it is very important.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir, if 3 years of person into admin and he is having only 1 year of experience into development, so what is the approach to follow on those?
can you please repeat from the beginning again?
Okay, if the person is having 3 years experience into admin
Mm-hmm.
and 1 year into development,
Okay.
so for them also the same approach, sir?
Okay, so if the person has 3 years of experience as an admin and 1 year as a developer, it now depends on if he's applying as a developer, how many years of experience he is actually telling. If he's just telling 1 year of experience as a developer and 3 years as an admin, okay, the strategy will still be simple. He should, because he is in the Salesforce background from last 4 years. Okay, he has certain advantage and disadvantage. Okay, his admin should be extremely strong, like he should have advanced admin level knowledge, and what is expected from he is that he should also know certain things. So even admin understand integration, but maybe not writing the code, but at least understanding the business requirements and all. Okay, because even admins do a lot of integrations with just the outbound messages. Okay, so strategy will also be pretty much similar. They should know LWC, because for Salesforce, even if you are a fresher, LWC is a must to know thing now. So LWC, nobody will take no for any level of experience. Even if I give interview today and they will ask me LWC, I'll have to tell them like a fresher that okay, these are the things, that's how it works, because they have to understand whether I know this or not, whether I have worked on it or not. Number of years of experience will not tell that. My answers will tell that. Okay, so approach for him will also be same. But if he is saying that he has 4 years of experience as a Salesforce developer, then things will become complicated for him. Then expectation will shoot up. Okay, then he will be expected to work on integrations and almost everything. So once you reach 3+ years, it becomes really difficult for, the responsibility is on your head, or on your shoulder, to justify the number of years of experience with the knowledge you have. Okay, so my suggestion will be to go with just 1 year as a developer and make sure that your fundamentals are extremely strong. Your admin side will already be good, so take the advantage of that. show your bright side on the admin, and show how you enjoy the development as well, the positive side. So see, there will be topics which you might not know, because 1 year is a very less time as a developer to know most of the things. So you will obviously, there will be topics which you might not be aware, which is okay. But with the positive attitude and with the fundamental knowledge, you can still say that, okay, I might not have got a batch to write in a real project, but I have written numbers of batches on my own through the various learning blogs available. And you can also tell the examples of the batches you have written, just giving an example. So that is how, even if you have not got something to work in a real project, you can show the positive side of it, that you have done it. And this is for everybody. See, there will be topics which you might not be aware, or there will be topics which you may say that, okay, I did not get to work on any integration in a real project. This happens with most of us when we transition from 2 year 3 years of experience, but never got to work on an integration. So instead of saying that, no, I haven't worked on integration, because that will convey that you don't know integration, you have never worked on it. If you get an integration project, they will have to teach you everything from beginning. Instead of saying that, you can say that, sir, okay, I did not get to work on integration in a real project, but then I have done couple of POCs, I have done couple of learning sessions or learning tutorials where I have integrated this and that, integrated couple of free APIs with Salesforce, integrated a few external tools with Salesforce, where I have mainly used these authentication mechanisms. So you are saying that you have not worked in integration in a project, but you have done handful of integrations, you are comfortable with the topic, you are confident in the topic, plus you also say that if you given the opportunity, you would love to work on integration. So it's just a two-way of saying the same thing, but the difference is huge between both the approaches. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Omkar, you need not to do this here. I mean, I will not be able to check it right now, but yes, you can send it in the group or send it in the one-on-one message to me on WhatsApp, and I'll reply you back. Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's go with the questions now, guys, and then we will do chit chat later. Why we need profiles and how permission sets are helpful. Okay. So here, interviewer is not asking you what are profiles. Okay. They're saying that why we need profile and how permission sets are helpful. Okay. In the question like this, and you will definitely get one question from record sharing and security, whether it will be a theoretical question or it will be a practical question. But my suggestion to these or any of the record sharing and security question is to take the maximum advantage from this question. Here, what he's saying that why do we need profile? We use profile to give the object level access to our end user. Profile is one of the mandatory things to be provided whenever we create a new user. Okay, the idea is, or the approach we follow in our org is that we provide base permissions through profile for my users in my org, and then we try to extend those permissions via permission sets. And here comes the permission set, which we use again to extend the object level permissions along with couple of additional system permissions and additional other permissions. But a single user can have multiple permission sets as well. So we can create separate permission sets for different use cases and can assign to variety of users. So permission sets in a way gives us flexibility to extend the permissions, yet we need not to create a lot of profiles because a user can have only one profile. So he wants you to elaborate the object level permissions, and you also have to impress him with your answer. Don't go with the plain definition. So what could be a plain definition here? Why we need profile? To provide object level access or to provide permissions. And how we permission sets are helpful? Permission sets extend the permission. So he asked a question and you just blocked the answer within 10 seconds. And you will feel that, okay, I was able to answer these questions perfectly well, and he should give me 100% marks. He will not give you 100% marks because he is not impressed with your question, with your answer. Even if your answer is correct, if he is not impressed with your answer, he is entitled to cut your marks. Okay, if you get a 10 marks question in an exam, you will have to write certain number of lines. You cannot write that 10 marks answer in a single line, and cannot ask or cannot complain that your answer was right. Yes, your answer was right, but it was not impressive. He is there to get impressed by you, or he should have an, obviously this is an interview setup. No matter how many times I say that, treat it as a technical discussion, but at the end, the aim is that you should be able to impress the interviewer, or you should give an impression that you are a good candidate, good fit for that role, right? So your answers should also say the same thing, that you are an excellent choice for this role. Okay, so try to impress the interviewer. There is nothing wrong in that. Okay. All right, guys. And let me just follow the tradition. I will nominate one of you to answer this. Okay, hi Chinmay. Are you able to hear me? Everybody has to be ready for this. Okay. I will point out the name and I will ask you to answer a question. Okay. And I hope you will not get offended by any of these. So if Chinmay, I ask you why we need profile and how permission sets are helpful, how will you answer it? Come on. I'm not able to hear you. Are you speaking? I think you are unmute but not speaking. Come on. Okay, let me give it to somebody else then. Swapnil, this looks like a good question for you. Tell me, how will you answer it?
Yes, sir. Hi, good afternoon. So, as we discussed, the profile comes into the object level settings, security at the topmost, and then it comes to the record level. So, profiles, as we discussed, is in base access levels, whatever we can give. And as a permission set describes, which gives us the advantages, so the whatever the more access we want to give that particular user. So, profile as starting, we discussed that it gives them the more access, or we just want to give them the, just let's consider there are the 10 users, so we will just give the base profile, and then later on will permission set will be helpful here. It might be at certain conditions, in that as per the project conditions, we might be them certain conditions we have to go extra steps, like in managers or some any special user, guest user, like that. That permission
Correct.
set helps. And as the Salesforce
Right.
upgradations or new releases, the profiles and the permissions are moving towards the more towards the permission set rather than the
100%.
profiles. And the profiles will be become as a future in the base profile. There will be no such as a system admin or the Salesforce admin. And later on, it all will be just included with the permission sets.
Yeah, that is the
Yes.
projection. So if you end the answer with this thought that Salesforce is moving towards more permission sets, and that is what we are also following in my current org. That will impress the interviewer most. Okay, and obviously, now that you are ending the question, as a candidate, you can also start a new thread by saying that both the profiles and permission sets are related to the object level access, whereas in Salesforce, we also have a record level security as well. Just to end your thought, so that if he want to ask more from the record level security as well, he can ask. See, if we get a topic which is our strong topic and I want to take maximum advantage of that, I would need him to ask more question from it, because this is my strong topic, but this is an important topic. So I definitely need him to ask couple of questions from OWD sharing settings, manual sharing as well. to get maximum marks as well as to impress him. Okay, but it will be on him whether he want to ask further question from this topic or want to move on to a completely different topic. Okay, so we will not obviously put words in his mouth, but we will just open a thread. If you want to catch that thread, very good. If not, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, here after this question,
Yes.
he asks another question. Okay, if a user A and user B are in same role and assigned same profile, no extra permission given, user A is able to see user B's record, but user B is not able to see user A record. What could be the reason? Okay, so this is like, I think the first question we have covered when we were covering the record sharing and security question, that two users have same role, same profile. One is able to see others' data, other is not able to see the first user's data. What could be the issue? Okay, so here the first decision we need to make here is that whether this is an object level issue or a record level issue. Okay, here we are talking about user A is able to see user B data, B is not able to see E data. So we are not talking about own data. Okay, they definitely have object level access. They are not able to see each other's data, or one is able to see, one is not able to see. So this definitely is not a object level access because they both are able to see their own data. The problem is with others' data. Whenever the problem is that I am not able to see someone else's data on the same object, then it is mostly about the record sharing and security. So the first decision we make here, and we have to convey that how we logically reach to the point that this is a record level issue. Okay, then once this is a record level access issue, we will come to the record level tree, where on the bottom we have OWD. OWD is fine because they are able to see the data. Okay, now user A is able to see B data, but B is not able to see A data. So there could be multiple things. Okay, here they are in same role, so role hierarchy is not a problem. Okay, role hierarchy is not an issue because they are in the same role. So role hierarchy is out of picture, OWD is out of picture. Now we are left with sharing rule or manual sharing. Okay, now it could be a sharing rule, it could be a manual sharing, or it could be anything else like epic sharing as well. But this definitely is not a role hierarchy. So that is what you're going to tell. User A might have manually shared the record with B, but user B might not have shared it. Or there might be a sharing rule we have created for the record owned by user A, but there is no such thing for the record which are owned by user B. Okay, most of the time it is manual sharing, and then there will be cross questions as well. It's not like he asks the question and he will listen to you. He will obviously give you follow-up question. And here at this point, when you will say that, okay, this could be manual sharing or a sharing rule, he will have to confirm whether there is a sharing rule or not, because at that time he might say that no, there is no sharing rule. Then you will say, okay, this is manual sharing. If he says that no, there is no manual sharing as well, then you will say that okay, this could be epics defined sharing. If he says there is no epics defined sharing, then you could say that there could be some other ways like opportunity team, account team, territory management, or maybe restriction rules by which user B is not able to see A data, something like that. But you will have to drill down all the possible options you have, and then obviously he will confirm. So understand, he is not looking for answer. When somebody asks question like this, they are not looking for answer. Okay, they are looking for your approach. If you will say manual sharing on the first step, he will never be able to understand the thought process you went behind the picture to come to that conclusion. You will have to convey your thought process because he is looking for that only. He is not looking for solution. This is not a problem which like is so critical that he just need answer for that. He is looking your thought process. You have to convey the thought process. That is how you will connect with the interviewer. Okay, so try to convey the thought process, try to drill down your options, and then let's discuss those options with the interviewer. He obviously will have some cross questions on that. Don't get intimidated by so much of the information given in the record sharing and security question, because many times a lot of information is just to confuse you. Trust me, most of the time in the record sharing and security questions, the more the information, the more you will get confused. And that is why they provide a lot of information. Okay. If you want to go through, if you are new here, and if you have not gone through a lot of record sharing and security questions, we have done it very extensively. You will be able to see those in the videos of record sharing and security for both the batches. Go through those videos, you will be able to get the answers. And a lot, like these are the very basic questions. We have done so difficult questions on that. Those who were part of those sessions know this, right? Okay, let's move on to the next question. If user A tries to insert and record, but on UI, he is getting a DML limit exception, what could be the reason? Who want to answer that?
He might not have the permissions, first of all, that the create or the view permissions. He might have the read permissions. Okay, or if else, then there might be the restriction rules or any permission or the mute permissions he might have. So the user or the profile cannot create them.
Is there any chance, sir, that the developer has written a DML operation inside loop? So 150 governor limit was passing out. That is why DML exception limit exception is.
Yeah. See, so DML exception definitely, and most of the time this will occur when the DML will happen. Okay. So this is not about user not having delete permission. He had that delete permission and system tried to delete the record. But when system tried to delete the record, then we got the DML exception. So could be we are doing more than 150 DML in the transaction. Could be we are doing it in the recursion. Okay. Could be that we are processing a lot of data and that is beyond the limit. And that is why when we actually go through the DML, it is failing. Specifically, getting DML is mostly about when we try to do the DML, we exceeded the governor limit. Okay. But then there can be a lot of other reason as well. Okay. So the best, without much information on this, without just this information that DML limit exception, it could be anything, but your first answer will be DML, that DML 150 limit or DML within the recursion trigger is happening in the recursion or more than 150 DMLs in the whole transaction. Okay, not necessary all in the loop, but could be that 150 DMLs happening in the whole transaction. Maybe might be opportunity transaction is triggering case transaction and case is doing account transaction, and could be there is a loop. Okay. See, validation rule could not be the issue, because if validation rule issue will be there, then you will get different types of error. You will not get the DML exception. Okay. Yes, Swapnil, go ahead.
Yeah, so the question I might be wrong, not sure completing that, but the question was like, I just get confused, like, but on the UI. So I thought the UI is like an user interface when the user is creating the record, like in one single record. So if he's creating one single record.
Let's assume that there is an opportunity, user is just trying to delete that opportunity from the UI itself. He clicked on delete button, and then this whole transaction will happen in the backend, and at the end of transaction, you are on the page, you are getting this error, system.dml exception on line this, that, something like that. Okay, so system tried to delete that record in the backend. See, if there is a validation rule, it will never reach to that DML point. Okay, it will throw the error upfront. It will never go to that DML point. Okay, but if DML exception is coming, that means something wrong with the DML. What can happen wrong with the DML? We might be hitting the governor limits in the DML. What I want you to do now is in the Google, check what are the different DML limit exceptions you get, or not even the limit exception, just check the different DML exceptions in Salesforce and try to identify what DML exceptions can come in this case. Obviously, 150 DML and recursive DML obviously will be the first, but I want you to explore other as well. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right, guys. Okay. What are the latest releases? Tell me, what is the release cycle of Salesforce? Sandeep, are you there? Are you listening? Not Sandeep. Okay, Basu, you tell me, what is the Salesforce release cycle? How many release we have and when?
So, Mohit, there are 3 cycles: summer, spring, and winter. But the exact month, I'm not able to recall right now.
Okay. Yeah, we have 3 cycles, and I think that most of us are aware about. But then when even I get confused whenever I have to tell, okay, at which cycle we are. Okay, so I forget the exact sequence of it. So that is why I have created this small document for you. Spring release mostly happens between January and February. Okay, summer release happens around May and June, and winter release happens September and October. So if we are in 2024, when winter release will come, it will be winter 25. Okay, remember that. So winter release, you can say that ahead of time. Okay, now you will remember.
Yeah,
Around
got it.
September, October, there'll be winter release, which will take the year of the next year. So this year's winter release, which will come around September, October, will have name as winter 25. Okay, currently it is summer 24, and all those people who are giving interview, it is so mandatory that you go through the release features. Not all the release features, but at least the topics which you are good at. So if I am good at flows, if I am good at triggers, I should at least be aware about the latest thing coming on flows and triggers. Okay, that is the expectation I have from you guys. Okay.
Sir, can you repeat why it is 25 and not 24? Winter 25.
So it is basically for the next year. So what happens is that with release, they are saying that the things which are coming, okay, things for future. So that is why when winter come, it is for the next year. So last year, September, October, when the release came, that was winter 25. Okay, it's like winter is coming. Understand it from that point of view.
Okay, got it.
They
Did-
just
did you
calculated
watch-
6 months
Yeah.
from that.
Okay, just a second. My phone is about to switch off. Okay, so I think you all will have read permission on this. You can go through that. Okay, one other request from everybody is that although like this, I know that nobody will do or change this document or delete something from it purposefully, but then try to save a offline version of it in your desktop as well, so that if in case something goes wrong, you at least will have an offline version of this document. I think most of us have already done this, but then just a request, do it on your own as well. Okay, and so whatever questions we are discussing here, what I want you is that somebody from the group itself just add answers here, so that new people who are going through recordings will have answers. I am not writing answers for each and everything, because few things are very easy, few things are just for the explanation purpose. But if you feel you can write down the answer for it, just write it down here. Okay, that will be better for everybody. Okay, what is the use of with and without shading keyword? What do we do if we call class A inside B, where the shading settings to be followed same as class B? So what they're saying is that, what interviewer is asking is that, first, what is the with shading and without shading keyword? Okay, this Deep, are you talking about this question or the previous one, release notes one?
No, sir.
Previous
Previous.
Yeah, see, this is the type of question where people fail. Trust me. If we say that I know there are 3 release, but I'm not aware which release comes at what time, it is so negative. It gives so negative impact. And if I ask 10 people, 8 will not be able to tell me. Okay, and then people wonder why they failed in an interview. They were able to answer. They will consider that, okay, I told him that there are 3 release and it was right, but it is not right. Everybody knows that. Even people who are not in Salesforce also kind of knows it. But we as a Salesforce developer should know that which release will come. Okay, so it is an easy question, but trust me, most of the people, if I have to pick one question from this whole interview section of 23 question, 22 question, this is the question which will fail most of the people. Trust me. Okay, this is a good point. Yes, Deep. Next question is, what is with sharing and what is without sharing keyword? First, he wants to understand whether you know it or not. And then there is a question, what do we do if we have to call class A inside B? So class A is getting called inside class B. What we want to make sure is that the sharing setting of class B should be applied on class A. Okay, that is the whole point. So we have covered this topic. I want you guys to go through. If you have any confusion, this is bit confusing topic. What is with sharing and without sharing? Confusion comes in when we have to mix a class is getting called which is without sharing from a class which is with sharing, and vice versa. And then there is something called inherited sharing. When that comes in picture, it complicates the thing. Okay, so I want you to revise this topic, and if you have any further question, you can ask me. I have written the answer of this question. So what they want is that if we call class A inside class B, so class B, we are calling class A inside class B, and class A should follow the sharing of the class B. Okay, that's it. So this is only possible when we use the same sharing context. If class B is without sharing, we also make class A without sharing. If class A is with sharing, class B is also with sharing. That is one way. Other way is that class B is with sharing or without sharing, no matter. In class A, we will use the inherited sharing. So in that case, class A will inherit the sharing context of class B. So there are 2 ways to do that. I have written it, but I want you to first revise this topic, then only come to the conclusion, or then only accept my answer, or you draw your own answer on this. Okay?
Sorry, sir.
Can you
but,
repeat this?
Yes, please, can you repeat it?
Okay. So what they're saying, there is a class A and there is a class B. Okay. Consider that we are calling class A inside class B. Okay. Class B is on top, class B is on top, and we are calling class A inside class B. Okay. Class B and then class A. Okay. Class A will be called inside the class B. There will be context of class B, and then we will calling the class A and a method of class A. Okay. What they want is that the sharing context of class B should be applied on class A as well. Like what they're trying to say is that if class B is with sharing, then class A should also be with sharing. Or if class B is without sharing, then class A should also be without sharing. So essentially what they're trying to say is that class A should always follow the sharing context of class B, which is the upper class or top class. Okay. So what he wanted to understand was why interviewer asked this question is because he asked you what is with sharing and without sharing. And from this question, he wanted to understand whether you know the concept of inherited sharing or not. Okay. So what happens in the inherited sharing is that the inner class will inherit the sharing context of the outer class or the class on which it is getting called. So if let's say class B is on top and that is with sharing, and if class A is inside it and we annotate class A as inherited sharing, then in that case class A will inherit from the class B. Okay, so he wanted to understand the inherited sharing from this question. But if we make sure that class A and B have the same sharing context, then also it will be okay. So both answers will work. But the reason of this question is to understand what is inherited sharing. Okay? If you are not able to understand it, no problem with that. Just mark this question as read. We can do this practically in one of the sessions. Okay? That is not a problem. Okay? Don't worry. But revise the concept which we have covered in this topic. Okay? Okay, guys?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Don't
I have an
worry.
additional question on this topic.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's say, sir, we have a without sharing class, okay, and in that without sharing class, we have 10 methods, okay, and now one of the method needs to be executed in with sharing context. Then how will we implement this?
Class is without sharing, but you want that method to be executed in with
I mean,
sharing
a
context.
class is, yeah, class is without sharing, and a class contains 10 methods. One of the method needs to be implemented as with sharing.
Okay. So how will you want this? Is there any other class as well in the picture, or this is just the only class?
No, this is just the only class.
Then why we have to mention the class as without sharing if there are methods which has to run in the with sharing context?
No,
Yeah,
the
Deep,
class
go
is
ahead.
defined as explicitly as without sharing.
Okay,
I
got it.
think
Yeah, Deep, go ahead.
we need
एक चीज दिमाग में आ रहा है सर की, ये तो थोड़ा एज केस है, बट एक चीज हम लोग कर सकते हैं कि अगर वो मेथड का जो भी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होगा, अगर वहाँ क्वेरी कॉल हो रहा होगा, तो क्वेरी कॉल में हम लोग जो मोड होता है सिस्टम मोड और विद शेयरिंग मोड, वहाँ विद शेयरिंग वाला मोड यूजर मोड लगा सकते हैं.
यूज केस पहले तो यार यूज केस समझना होगा कि हमें ऐसा क्यों करना है. ठीक है, आउटर क्लास हमारी विदाउट शेयरिंग है, मेथड को हमें विद शेयरिंग में रन कराना है, तो मतलब ऐसा है ही क्योंकि हमारी आउटर क्लास विदाउट शेयरिंग है. देखो, विद शेयरिंग विदाउट शेयरिंग तब करते हैं जब हमें मतलब और क्लासेस के साथ इंटरेक्ट करना हो और मेक श्योर करना हो कि शेयरिंग कंटेक्स्ट जरा सा भी ऊपर नीचे ना हो या मतलब कॉम्प्रोमाइज ना हो. ठीक है, तब हमें ये चीज यूज करनी होती है. लेट मी राइट इट डाउन.
Yeah,
तो
like this is
फिर
one of the question from the seat as well. Actually, I'm also not able to get the answer. So I thought
ठीक
of
है,
asking
डोंट वरी,
the,
we will cover, get that. Don't worry, I'll have to just see and then cover it. Don't worry.
yeah, sure.
Okay, can you write this down on chat so that I can just copy it and put it in the questions to explore? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then we have a trigger. Okay, now this is a major question of this interview. Whenever we get to write a trigger, he wants to understand if you are comfortable in writing trigger or not. Okay, so trigger to likhne mein we have to be comfortable. We have to have at least practiced 20, 25, 30 triggers on our own without any help. Okay, so if you are somebody who has just started, pick the easy triggers. Try to write down the logic on your own copy with notebook and pen. Then try to then go through the developer console and write trigger on it. Okay, there are see, in the interviews they cannot ask a lot of difficult questions in terms of writing triggers because we have limited time. So they go with most of the time easy questions like this one. Create number of contacts. So create multiple contacts on account based on a number field on the account object. So they ask very basic question. We have done fundamental trigger in our trigger sessions. Then we have done an advanced trigger in our trigger session. I want you to go through that, all the new people, and then see whether you are comfortable in it or not. And then for triggers, you can follow SFDC Ninja. There are so many trigger scenario he has provided. Write down the trigger scenario. Don't go through the solution. Try to write it on your own. If you face any problem, you can take help from the videos he already has, but do not make it as a habit to always take help, because what I want you is that you should be able to build the logic on your own. Okay. So trigger writing is something which I want everybody of you to do, especially the new people who are new, who were not part of the sessions from day one. You have to practice a lot on the trigger. Okay. Do we have new people who have not attended any of my session?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
what's your name? What's your name?
It's Arundhati.
Arundhati. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
Swapna, sir. This is my first section with you.
Okay. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I hope you like the format of how we are doing it. See, this is going to be very informal and friendly, to be very frank, because these are not the teaching sessions. These are more of a discussions we are doing. But I hope you have access to the recordings on which you can go through the sessions.
Yes, sir. I
Anybody
I'm
has
going
any
through it.
issue with the access, just ping me and I will check it. Okay. Lately, I'm not getting any support from Graphy team because obviously few other things. I don't want to record that, but I'll tell separately. I most of the time forget when I'm recording versus when I'm not recording. I have to be very mindful. Okay. Best practices of test classes. I have written it down in what? Where are these? Okay, I think I was creating a document to write down all the best practices of test classes. I'll tell you, I'll add down the document here, but most of you should directly know the best practices of test classes. Anybody wants to tell me your list of best practices of test classes? Okay, I'll write it down, but when I'll ask this in your mock interview, then you will have to speak, okay? Then I'll not take your silence. Okay, no worries. The next question is very interesting. How to test the private classes? Anybody wants
So
to
may I
tell
tell
me?
you few
Yeah,
points
go
I
ahead.
know? Yes.
Yeah,
Like
100%. Go ahead, tell me.
yes. Like you can avoid a hard coding of IDs for testing a particular record over there. You must like create setup data, like test setup data or test factory data to test the particular class, like Apex class, and you should not always write like see all data true for testing purpose. It must be false. Like I should know only 3 points of that.
Okay,
You can
we have
write
to
like
test.
at the rate test start method and test stop method for governor limits, I think so.
Yep.
Also,
You
before
have to use
positive
system
negative
dot
testing.
asset equals.
We have to use
Check
system
all
assets
the negative and positive scenarios and use
and
at the
bulk
test visible as well.
and bulk scenarios as well.
Yes, bulk scenario as well.
Avoid test
Data factory.
visible. Create data factory. Yes. Create your own
Use
setup data.
use system.runners to enforce record sharing.
ये क्या
Yep.
था सर विकास
If you're
can you
getting
repeat again?
देखो अब क्या करना है कि एक लोगों को ये चीज डॉक्यूमेंट में लिखनी है एंड देन वो डॉक्यूमेंट का लिंक यहाँ पे अटैच करना है, ठीक है, सो दैट कि बाकी लोगों की हेल्प हो सके. हु विल डू दैट? टेल मी.
I will do sir.
Okay, Deep. So what you
For
will do,
this question,
create
na?
a हाँ फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन अभी एक के ऊपर
Okay.
मैं ज्यादा काम नहीं ला दूंगा, डोंट वरी, ठीक है। क्योंकि अगर हम लोग थोड़ा थोड़ा करेंगे ना तो बाद में बहुत ज्यादा हो सकता है, बहुत बाद में बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा, बट एक के ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा डाल दूंगा तो आई विल, उसको फिर बोझ लगेगा। आई डोंट वांट दैट, आई वांट यू टू एंजॉय दिस प्रोसेस, ओके। ठीक है,
Hi,
नाउ टेल मी
Mohit.
दिस क्वेश्चन। हेलो, हेलो।
Hi. Hi, Mohit. So we don't have access to these documents. I came from YouTube family.
Okay, you are from YouTube family. Okay, let me just ping the link here and tell me if you are able to access this or not. Okay, I have
Sir,
pasted the link in the chat. Okay, I think this is. ठीक है, tell me if you are able to access this or not right now.
Yes.